All right. Another round of applause for the President. Thank you so much, Mr. President, for those thought-provoking statements, your wisdom shared, your personal experience. We have a lot of stories about you. We are so honored that you're able to come and share with us. We have a lot of respect for you. I come from Arua. I was one of the people who was in Arua at that time. It wasn't a very nice experience, but your bravery has brought us this far. We thank you so much, and we continue to pray that the Lord bless you in all your endeavors. We're very sure of you. You're just one of us. We love you, and we're not going to stop until the time comes when thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, those physically present and those online, we're very honored to have you with us, and this is the Radical New Bar at the best thing that it does. Our tenets: democratization, decolonization, digital transformation, and militarization. It's what we are doing today, and we have had beautiful statements from the President, and that we are going to use into the next agenda item, which is question and answer. Mr. President, we thank you that you're able to be here with us. We'd like to delve into question and answer. We know there are questions in the house, there are also questions online. We'd like to take a few minutes to go into that session, and we have a microphone over here moving around with Samantha. Are you in? Ladies and gentlemen, time for questions of what has just been shared by the President. Please. Do we have? Okay. We've got one question here, Mr. President, from one Gerald Odom. He's asking, Honorable, we need you as a member of the Ugandan Society Radical New Bar. What are you doing? When are you doing the bar course and becoming a member? Mr. President, these are not our questions. We're picking questions from the general public and some from members. I would request that you receive them with grace, like you've always done, and feel free to answer them. We shall also, through you, allow you to maybe pass the questions that you think can be answered by your panel, so as to engage the public. And ladies and gentlemen, you're also allowed to ask the panel available. We are all distinguished, interestingly, lawyers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's clap for the panel today. It's a full lawyer panel. Thank you. That's the Radical New Bar. Thank you. The other question is from one Goretti Nambi. Goretti says, thank you, our President, for your courage and bravery. My question is about overstay in power. Sometimes members of the opposition fault the incumbent president for overstay in power. However, there have also been MPs of their regions for too long and are not giving young people the chance to serve. What is your opinion on that? And given that you have been the NUP president for 2 terms, will you be willing to step down in future? I hope that was succinct. Is it sufficient, Mr. President? Thank you. We have Mr. Shafiq Were. Thank you so much for the questions. Many Ugandans have lost hope in Ugandan politics. Majority don't even go to vote. What is your message to us who don't have hope and do not plan on voting in 2026? Mr. President, shall allow you the grace to answer those 3 as the others are flowing, and the public physically present is also going to take time to ask a few questions. Thank you. You can activate the microphone. Is that okay?
My check 1, 2. That's right.
Respect.
Yeah. Thank you very much. These are rather interesting questions. When are you joining the bar? When am I going for the bar course? Friends, I'm a problem person. Embarrassing, but because of my circumstances, it's actually interesting to mention that while others studied the law degree for 4 years, I studied it for 7 years. Because for 7 years and in 2 universities, because of the political situation that you see in Uganda, in and out of the classroom, in and out of prison. And the situation has not changed. I'm thankful that I was able to accomplish this, and it's my desire to become a real lawyer, because I know that a lawyer that has not done the bar course is like the horse with the back. So I am aware there is something missing. However, there's more important work that we are doing. Guys, we are removing a dictator. And when that is done, when time allows, I'll definitely go back, and I'll be very proud to join the bar then. About overstaying power. For clarity, I don't believe in overstaying power. General Museveni said it, and I agree with him, that the problem with Uganda, in particular, and Africa in general, and the leaders are overstaying power. It's not written anywhere that, a leader should stay and stay and stay and stay. If a leader does not inspire other leaders to come and take over from that leader, then that leader is failed. So I don't believe in overstaying power. I know that majority, if not all leaders, say exactly what I'm saying before they get into power. General Museveni was saying exactly what I'm saying, only more eloquent, when he was my age. But it's the same person that does not want to be reminded of what he said when he was my age. I know that. So, knowing that, I also know that good leaders are not born out of their own hearts, are born out of the situation. So, it's the reason why we started the People Power Movement, because our power is with the people. And also, it's our desire to inspire as many new and young leaders as possible, so that they are available to replace us. But also, we believe mainly in institutions that outlive human greed and human weaknesses. I don't want to be the all-knowing guy, the big boss, the big daddy, the strong man. That syndrome we must demystify, we must destroy, and we must flush in the dustbins of history. So I believe that leaders should come, and leaders should go and give way to other leaders. You mentioned about MPs that have overstayed in position. Run against them. When I saw that Museveni had overstayed in power, I did not just sit on the periphery to complain. I showed up, cut off my dreads, put on a tie, and I took on the guy and defeated him. And now we want to defeat him again. So don't just think from the periphery. Step up and present yourself. Not just for the sake of challenging the guy that overstayed in power, but present new ideas, present new options, convince people. Majority of us are young people. So why don't you show up and present your options, and people will believe in you, and we shall move on. And finally, Shafiq said many people are losing hope. And what's the message? Bro, freedom comes to those who fight, not to those who cry or give up. The more you cry, the more your people continue to die, and after the death of your people, you're the next to die. So rise to the occasion and do what you must do. Giving up is not an option in this situation. And it even depresses me to listen to a young person giving up. You're giving up on a guy who is 84, and you're giving up. The people that are ruling over us have already gone past their future is behind them. You're in your 20s, your 30s, and you're giving up. Come on, man. There's a lot of time for us to be there. And that time will either be a time of suffering or a time of enjoyment. It depends on what we do now. There's no time of giving up. There's no time for giving up. Get up, let's fold our sleeves, and do what we must do to prepare a country that we shall grow old in, and a country where we shall raise our children. That's my answer to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. Were has gotten his answer. Bro, we have to fight together. Yeah, respect. We have a question from a gentleman here.
Yes, Mr. President, I'm called Seba. Mr. President, I work with one of you know newspaper. Then I'm going to ask mine in Luganda because we write for Luganda readers. Sebo President, ngakaluka bija ali mugomuka akagwa. President chireyo bagamba ati wagamba ati no mwaka tegujja kuwera nga ndashemalira tonnamujja muyinza. Ne bwetuludde olwaleero nga ndashemalira akyali entebe mu entebe yo akyagirimu. President gamba bannayuganda n'abavubuka abakkiririzaamu ennyo bukodyo ki bw'ogenda okukozesa okulaba nga nakyemalira aba mu ntebe yo oba ogenda kumulinda afe kufu abona amulidde mu ntebe.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Chiseka. Mr. President, we would like to request that we have a round of questions because we have been informed that your schedule is already tight. We shall allow a few more questions, not many. Then we can run the schedule faster than now. The President has been with us for a while now. Let's run our questions so fast.
Thank you. My name is Jerry Pandera. I am a journalist with Ebibuuzo. I think this is the best forum for me to raise this question. So, President of NUP and your panel, we have heard from you several times saying you've taken different times of addressing injustice in Uganda, including going to the South African Court of Justice and at some point the ICC about the injustices here. Well, your party still lingers around looking for about 18 people whose whereabouts have never been seen today, maybe 5 years ago until today. What are the other challenges you're doing to bring hope to the families of these 18 people?
Thank you so much.
Because we've always used the justice system. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. We request that you just take those questions. There's one behind, please. Around 2 over there.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. My name is Moe Ibrahim, and like you, I have got my law degree in my 40s. You said here that during times of injustice, neutrality is complicity. But it is also true that in history, we have never had a community of only brave men. You have called upon lawyers to take the challenge and lead the struggle for change. What message do you have for those who have vestiges of cowardice?
Thank you, thank you. Next question, we're running out of time. Mr. President, I hope that is sufficient. You taking that, thank you. I'm sorry.
Mr. President, Magom Ivan, aka People's Advocate is my name. Mr. President, with due respect to all questions asked to you because you're the head of state, I want to be inclined to the theme of today about lawyers. Mr. President, just like you said, it took you 7 years to complete your law degree, but I want to tell you that it may take you 14 years to get your practicing certificate. I want to use this platform to bang the table to inform you to charge the people who can influence, because I know we have the shadow government, but you're also the president of this country. Mr. President, I want to report to you that it can take 7 years or even more after one completing the law degree or even a bar course, that they don't get their practicing certificates. This in one way or the other affects the justice system. Some of us who would want maybe to participate actively are stopped.
Thank you so much.
So from this perspective,
yes,
you can reach out to the law because it's in parliament or any other alternative and rally lawyers to challenge the law council to expedite the process of getting practicing certificates so that we can participate
thank you.
in the change of this country.
Thank you so much. Two more questions behind over there.
Good morning. Afternoon, everyone. I think you know me. I'm the citizen. My OP, how are you, Mr. Chabalani? Mr. Bessa, how are you? Yes. For me, as I always tell you every week, the Human Rights Commission is where human rights go to die. The Ugandan judiciary is where justice goes to die. The Election Commission is where elections go to die. I think we saw what happened last week on Thursday. They deposed the Uganda Law Society. So therefore, Mr. President, and I put it to you, and my question to you is, can we create a new system which does not involve, at least for the election, the Ugandan judiciary, create some sort of tribunals which can handle election petitions expeditiously, so that at least the lawyers show that they are doing something. Because running into those incompetent judiciary, we have a corrupt judge at Court of Appeal, I'm told a rapist judge at Court of Appeal, we have all really, you can say what judiciary is just from, and it's the very judiciary condemning its own for being corrupt, for being, all sorts of things. So therefore, can't you have that platform, a separate, maybe tribunals which handle election petitions, and then, help us handle that. Such that we don't have people appealing, personal callers, win has been challenged. It was decided, Court of Appeal, we don't know when it will hear. So thank you, Mr. President. Can we have that forum? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Will you check that for now?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you very much. The questions are interesting. Now, Chiseka asked me in Uganda, he said, Simani Guruma Chiseka. I know that we are supposed to use the national language, but again, I understand the language in which he asked.
It's all the official language, not national language.
Thank you. Thank you. It had to be my name. Thank you for the correction. For the first time, you got me almost off that.
Alright, so Robert style.
Yeah, so, Msama Mwazikize, Chiseka Manugule, Muruganda. Chiseka wabuziza, nti nabagamba n'omwaka tegujja kuwera nga Museveni muggyeko. Era n'obuuza nti mukutyo kiwengenda okwesa. Kati olaba manyi. Mbanjagala nnyo ne munfuna bulungi naddala mu bannamawulire. Era obuzibu obusinga okubeerawo mu nsi kwogera ekigambo n'ekigenda okuva mu kamwa ko okutuuka eri abantu bwekigamba nga kikyusibwa emirundi 10. Nabagamba era nkiddamu nti Museveni bwe tuba tukoze kye tulina okukola n'omwezi takumala basagamba mwaka bwe tuba tukoze si bwe mba koze bwe tuba tukoze kye tulina okukola nga bannansi. Mwabo bannansi naawe poliisi ng'obadde oyogedde Lujamani n'andirowoozeza nti oba oli mu Congo naye engeri gy'ogenda oli mu kikakasa nti olina olimanya Uganda nga naawe poliisi. Era njagala okubasaba obuuza nti bukolyo ki bwe ngenda okozesa. Njagala nnyo okubasaba mwenna abampuliriza abali wano n'abagabiro gye ensonga si ya Kyagulanyi yekka. Obuzibu bwe businga okuva mu nsonga za Uganda kwe tujeekera omuntu omu. Dr. Semogere tubikulekedde tulwanirire, Dr. Leslie tubikulekedde tulwanirire paka bamukooya manyi engavaamu Kyagulanyi najja Kyagulanyi twafuna gwe twamala temwamala. temwafuna nze lumba mwafuna nze nange nabafuna mwe lwaki mwagala mumufuna nze nebafuna so njagala bwe mufuna bafuna tukole kye tulina okukola kubanga mwe mujja n'okusinga okunyumirwa Uganda nga tumaze okutuuka mu nsi ensuubi abamu bajja kuba batumenyemenya amakulu abalala tetukyayamire kuwoomera abalala tetukyayagala bulungi budde bw'ekiro olwabyo batuyisizaamu so kyetulina okukola tulina kikola ffenna ng'eggwanga eno si nsonga ya Kyagulanyi eno ensonga yaffe ffenna ffenna era bwe tukola kye twetaaga okukola nekibanga tekinnatuukirira ekyo temukikozesa kuyeeya Kyagulanyi oba kujerega Kyagulanyi wabula mwefumiitirize mulabe okwe kye tukozeeko kye kino wabwe tukomye ki kye tusobola okwongerako okutuuka gye tulina okutuuka engeri yokayokka tetugenda okwegasa ng'eggwanga. Thank you very much. Wandera asked me about different channels of addressing injustice. We have used different channels in to pursue all avenues to fight for justice, to demand for our missing people, who the government, through the Prime Minister and very many other government officials have come out and admitted having them, but they're not giving them to us. So we are pursuing every available legal and constitutional means. But again, we've not blocked the way, or we are not standing in the way of other Ugandans that are equally paying, that are pursuing other ways. In 1980, while the Ridandi studies and the single candidates were pursuing political and legal means, Museveni and his friends pursued forceful and violent means. So just like the Ridandi studies of the 80s, we are not standing in the way of those that are trying to free themselves by any means necessary. Neutrality is complicity, but there's no on the great men, my brother said. And he's asking me, what advice do I have for the cowards? My brother, you the cowards, you better die. Anyway, on a serious note, and I will quote one of my friends. You see, I have so many friends in the music fraternity. And there's this friend of mine who annoys me so much, but he's one of my favorite friends. His name is Chata. I was chatting with Chata one time, and I got angry. I said, you guys are our friends. You Chata, you are not artist, you're a popular artist. Why the hell are you silent? Why don't you speak out? Because you are an artist, you are known. Chata says, Bobi, whatever. In Uganda, Chaka says, you see, Bobi, even in the days of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, they had friends who were cowards. They did not kill them. So please don't kill me. I understand that our courage is not at the same level. And I'm not in any way claiming to be courageous. I always say I'm only desperate. I just don't have any other option. And I'm sure you too can be as courageous if you run out of options. But now that you still have full options and choose to identify as a coward, there's also something that you can do. Coward. This is what you can do. Number one, don't be used. If you can't be on the front line fighting for better or defending others, at least don't be used. There's this saying that we were taught from our governments that no one can make you a slave without your permission. We permit our oppressors with our actions or omissions. We facilitate our oppressors. So if you fear to do something, then don't do anything in support of the oppressor. But again, you can do something in a safe way. We are living in the days of social media. You can tweet and post and make sure you push message forward. You can be underground, There are many people that you know and many that you don't know that are actually very helpful in our struggle. Some of them are even working in public offices. Some of them are officers in the regime. I want to give you their name. But because they fear to lose their jobs, they fear to lose their status, they fear to lose their life, they only help us or help the struggle silently. So in this day and age of options, clearly everybody can do something to further the struggle, even a coward. I thank you. Now, the people's advocate asked me a question. He talked about the compromise system and a dysfunctional legal system. I'm very glad Senior Counsel Benjamin Katana had me, and I request that he permit me, ask him to help me respond to that immediately. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think it is important for us to appreciate that there cannot be a safe room in a banking house. The industry, just like the rest of the country, is undergoing challenges on account of the dysfunctionality of the NRM regime. So the only way out is not to approach it piecemeal. We are pushing for faster processing of practicing certificates, that we are pushing for faster processing of ABC. It's important that we collectively work towards an overhaul of the entire system. And that will begin by removal of the dysfunctional regime and establish a government that is not extractive in nature. A government that is service-centered and people-centered, not government. Today you will process that, but the next day you go to the hospital and again you will be shocked by the dysfunctionality. The next day you take your child to school and you will be shocked by the dysfunctionality. So what we are experiencing now, technology is trying to sabotage my project, but nevertheless I will make it. Okay, thank you. The regime is experiencing a multiple organ failure. And our responsibility as citizens of Uganda is to make sure that we put this to rest and bring into office a government that is people-centered. And I had a question about people being the cowardice, the brave. I think it is very important for the people of Uganda and for you lawyers to appreciate that what we are involved in is not electoral competition with Museveni and the NRM regime. What we are involved in is a war to reclaim the soul of our nation. And so, you will not leave the work to be done on. You will say, I don't support any, I do not support the leader of any. But this fight is for you as a citizen of Uganda, to make sure that a lawyer, as advocate of the people, or people's advocate, you are able to process your documentation without unnecessary delays. That when you go to hospital, you are able to be without unnecessary delays. So the people of Uganda must understand that what you are involved with is not an electoral competition, but they want to reclaim the soul of Uganda, and we must all embrace it, regardless of whether we like NUP, whether we like its leader or not. I thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Katana. The last question was more or less similar to the previous one that has been answered. However, there's a question that came through the message to those that have given up on elections. I gave it an answer, but that's a very important question that I want to have different perspectives about. So allow me to answer one way I would like to respond to that question.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'm very delighted to be here today. The very interesting questions that have come on the floor. Well, our message is that the people of Uganda need to know that if you do not participate in elections and in governance, then you lose the right to complain when things go wrong. And that's what we've seen. We've seen, even with the massive rigging and election fraud that we see in all these elections, we see that the voter turnout is very, very low. Honorable Narkola here, I don't remember what the exact percentage was, but it was below 20%. The people who turned out, below 20% of the people. So 14.4%. So you can imagine if, that is to exclude the ballot boxes which were kept by regime thugs and all that. But even if we were to add all those, I don't think we would hit the 20% mark. So if 14% of the people come out to vote their leaders, how do you then wake up every day ranting on X that things have gone wrong? Look at what is happening now. These people are having their primaries. People who have stolen iron sheets have come back with proceeds from that. They are now distributing money and all that. Money that they have stolen from these poor people, they are giving it out to different people, and these different people are ready, in some cases, to go and vote them again. So I think there has to be an awakening of the consciousness of the people. And for us as NDP, we talk about the protest vote. To say that the protest vote begins with a massive voter turnout. Our president has already said something. He says it in Uganda, but I also say it in English. If you do not come up to vote, and then the regime is able to mobilize, to pay people, to bribe people, and they come up to vote, and then tomorrow why would you complain when things continue going south? We've been telling people that if you do not come up at your village to vote for an LC1 chairperson, and a village thief is elected, then don't start complaining tomorrow when your chicken begins to disappear. Because on the day when you were supposed to go out and vote, you chose to stay home. So that is our call, that this time around, the election is coming up. I think the president was maybe deliberately did not mobilize you or charge you lawyers to come out and vote for him. He's unopposed in our party for the presidential flag. I want this opportunity to call upon all lawyers, come and vote for him and support the National Unity Platform. Because the National Unity Platform is the only party that will guarantee social justice and fairness in the management of the affairs of this country. But the most important point is that on that day, prepare for voting day the way you prepare for important days in your life. We see people prepare for weddings as if it's a very, very do or die. Lawyers prepare for court. You write in your diary, you say on this particular day, I have a very, very important case. I have a mediation. I have an arbitration matter to handle. So why don't you prepare for an election day the way you prepare for these big days? We've been telling the young people of Uganda, they normally prepare. When they hear that an international artist is coming to Uganda, they prepare for months. But when it comes to an election, someone goes and they see a long queue, they say, I will not go there. So, the only thing we did, for example, to get the victory for Honorable Narkola is because we protested. People stayed at polling stations and said we are not going to leave these polling stations until our results are announced. And the people followed those results to ensure that they are announced. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Comrade Lewis, and please bear with us. I want to thank you for asking for the vote from me. And I reiterate that request. Guys, please vote from me. I'm your own. The other old guy is not the lawyer. I am. You'll bear with me, it would be very necessary for us to live here. It would not be characteristic of what we stand for if we live here only having heard male voices. So allow me to invite my Deputy President in charge of Northern Uganda and also the Senior Counsel, Mamali Nazebiga, just give us a word from a woman to the women and to us the men.
Yes, that is my president, that is our president, the intergenerational, the iconic, the enigma. Yes, thank you so much, Your Excellency, you have my vote and my address specifically to the women. We are bearing the brand of this militarized, monetized space called Uganda. Our bodies have become the interview panels. Interview through sex. Yes, we have the evidence. I'm a member of Uganda. Your dignity is being violated, even your own children and grandchildren. We should be so annoyed to reclaim our dignity, our identity as the women, especially the women lawyers. Run for all positions possible under the NU. Defend, proclaim, recruit, and if they steal our votes, demand. As women, we can do it. By example, I am here. In my late life, going to be 64 this year. But here I am, because I would like us to leave a legacy like the Wangari Maathais. Why are we living incognito? What is your legacy as the women lawyers? And especially those from northern region, where we are, our people right now are being threatened all over. I got messages and shared. They want to portray northern region as NRM infected and infested. It's not true. It's not. Exactly. So, as Dr. Elliot Kipchoge said, rightfully, the iconic Olympian, he says no human is limited. People look to us as the lawyers. We need to ensure that we address the root cause of why Uganda will have degenerated to this level of disrespect for human dignity, disrespect for rule of law, disrespect for dialogue, disrespect for humanity, and therefore uproot it and be at the table as we set and reset to reclaim human dignity, to reclaim our motherland. We can do it. It's not only for our president, but each one of us multiply yourself and be courageous. Even those who believe they're cowards, you are not cowards. You just want to deny your human dignity. Reclaim it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, both physically present and those that are online, we would like to notify you that whereas we appreciate the questions that are flowing in, showing the up to this topic, which has always been something that we advertise about, we have information that the president of NUP has another schedule, and we would like to request that he be allowed to wind the day as far as this function is concerned in order to attend to other functions. As we know, he's a very busy man. It took so much to get him here. We usually have our activity of this nature on Thursdays at 11, but we got a call as the ULS to kindly and exceptionally allow that this function be held on Tuesday. So kindly bear with us, but we would like to acknowledge the questions that have been coming in online from one Eli Kasirie, one Nabudi Asia, one Naula Joseph from Zoom, one Atwoki, another Gaga Joseph Gary, and one from Wallace. As you are informed, Mr. President, this is an online program as well that is being watched by thousands of members of the public and the advocates, over 5,000 plus. So we receive questions endlessly, and you are a person of interest. And it also just leaves us with a lot to discuss. So kindly allow the President to wind the day, and before that, we would like to invite the council member from the East to take us through the next agenda item, which is something very critical in order for us to carry the day thereafter. Thank you so much.
Okay, wow, so much flying around this room here. I'll not take much time. Mr. President and those online, those physically present, I'm hoping you're having a good time. Councilman Mabilizi. Please allow his award to be seen by the President. We recently awarded Councilman Mabilizi for a decade of rule of law advocacy. As is customary, Mr. President, we always put pen to paper. We don't want to just talk and keep talking. We want to walk the walk. On previous occasions, we have made declarations and signed with the many of our guests a commitment to election justice, to a violence-free, transparent, and fair process. We have designed one this afternoon. Now, not just to read through it for members, just to be able to understand what we are signing this afternoon before we can let you attend to your other day's engagements. The title is the Declaration of Alliance Against Electoral Violence and Call for Free, Fair and Transparent Elections. The last part of Call for Free, Fair was inserted by our own land council, Council Lewis. It's important to rally members and rally the community and rally the stakeholders. The body is this. We then assign the members of the ULS, government, society, media, and the human rights organizations come together to condemn electoral violence in all its forms and to pledge our collective efforts towards preventing and mitigating its occurrence in Uganda. Recognizing the fundamental right of citizens to participate in peaceful and free elections and the importance of upholding the rule of law and democratic principles. Acknowledging the history of electoral violence and injustice in Uganda, which have marred the country's electoral process and undermined trust and democratic institutions. Noting the disproportionate impact of electoral violence on women, journalists, communities, and the need for targeted measures to protect these groups here. We commit to 1. Promoting free, fair, and peaceful elections through advocacy, education, and community engagement. 2. Supporting victims of violence through legal aid, counseling, and other forms of assistance. Holding perpetrators accountable through robust investigations, prosecutions, and sanctions. 3. Strengthening institutional capacity to prevent and respond to electoral violence, including through training and capacity building of law enforcement, judiciary, and electoral officials. We call upon all stakeholders, including political parties, candidates, and citizens, to join us in this effort to build a culture of peace, tolerance, and respect for human rights in Uganda's electoral processes. This is signed at the ULS House today, the 15th day of July 2025. Mr. President and our distinguished guests and those that are attending, we are going to endorse upon this document as a commitment that we shall walk the walk in 2026.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We are moving fast into the next agenda item. This is common practice with the Uganda Law Society. We try to make sure it doesn't just go in vain whenever we hold such critical topics, especially in regard to elections. we tried to make a commitment, and we are continuing to commit ourselves to the same cause. In the meantime, we'd like to make an announcement. Car registration number UBG088M and UBR512B, you're kindly requested to access your vehicle to allow the car behind you to make way. Kindly, UBG088M and UBR512. Kindly. It's urgent. Kindly reach your vehicle wherever you parked it. Mr. President, in the meantime, as you are signing these documents and commitments, we would like to acknowledge the presence of Advocate Nasa Ebibuuzo, who is your member as well and was recently a victim of election violence, as you had announced or said so. He was arrested on the 16th day of March 2025. He was eventually released on the 23rd day of March 2025. And we had the honor to host him on the 5th day of April 2025 to share his account, and we honored him for standing brave like you have spoken, as it is the case. And we would like to also let you know that with the Electoral Society, he is working together hand in hand to eventually petition the Constitutional Court in regard to the unlawful drilling as provided for under Section 45 of the Penal Code Act. We shall be very grateful once we get the support. We thank you. We also recognize the presence of Council Sassi, who was once here with us, doesn't need so much introduction. We recognize the presence of Council Mosisi, who was here with us. These are the soldiers that you have mentioned, and we have them here with us, and they have been enabling the public with impartation of knowledge. We also have the presence of Council Yasin, who is a stalwart of the Radical, the head of ideology, and he has a very short message for you as well as the public, and we'd like to invite him to come forth and very briefly, like we say, let's keep knowledgeable of the schedule of the President. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MC, and our advocate here, members present, and those online, like have been introduced. My name is Sentumwe Yasin Munagomba. I am the head of ideology of the Radical Member. Mr. President, we are honored and exceedingly humbled to have you in our midst today. And I have talked about violations, home abduction, wrongful detention. Our President, Council Isaac Imaze Semakade, Senior Council, is in exile. I am very alive to the fact that the NRM government, in its endeavor to restore human rights, one of its tenets was that no Ugandan should live outside this country. You very well remember the days of Kabaka Manga. You very well remember the days of Kabaleda, Omukama, of Kunyoro, and the trend has continued. Amidst you, majority of you, if I'm not mistaken, you're all lawyers. And if I may request, can we have lawyers stand up with you, with your team? Mr. President, you realize that everyone on this table is a lawyer. Kindly take your seat. How do we have a society that cannot feel the presence of its leader? Senior Council Semakade has been in exile as a result of the lawyers' work. As a society, the Attorney General of this country is a lawyer, a judge that almost sentenced Semakade for 2 years imprisonment. Justice Musa Sekan, as then was in a minute, in the absence of Semakade, had him convicted and sentenced him to 2 years imprisonment. Whereas we talk about human rights violation, let's also realize the fact that exile, living in exile, is a matter of human rights violation. Semakade had a lot to do. Your presence here is as a result of Semakade's tremendous work. I am requesting you to use the office of the leader of opposition to say no to exile. You have mentioned Justice Kisache, whom Semakade aggressively advocated that she will not live in exile when he's the head of the bar. And as fate that be, Semakade found her in exile. I don't know who will be next, but I will remember the words of the former Muslim cleric, Sheikh Muzata, when he said that those who had exiled people during Amin's time found them there during Obote's time. For whoever is exiling people today might find them after today. Mr. President, I thank you for honoring our arrangement, and please ask the leader of opposition. Honorable Sewungu had Honorable Narukola, the Secretary General. Please, we need to combine effort and condemn the continually exiling of our Supreme Leader, Isaac Kimaze Semakade. I thank you and wish you a wonderful journey.
Thank you so much. It goes without saying that I'm sitting without Honorable All right, thank you, our panel of distinguished guests. We'd like to move forward. We are running out of time. You're there with us once again, like I said. We're going to kindly request the panel that has the declarations before them to kindly stand up and display them for purposes of accountability, like is always the case. And the media, that is the protestant, who we're very grateful to, shall take pictures, and we shall use this as a commitment to follow up on issues concerning election violence and look forward to a peaceful election that is coming forth, and therefore ask that we walk the talk like our council member has said. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. And what is it like without a tickle from Honorable Narukola? Kindly, 1 second. Activate the button. Yeah.
Thank you, Robert. But what would I say? Once you say nothing, let me tell you something. When John F. Kennedy was president in the United States of America, he wanted the support of the black people. He went to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and asked for his support. What Dr. Martin Luther King did, he had invited John F. Kennedy to organize a press conference, invites Dr. Martin Luther to sit there with him. And indeed, that's what John F. Kennedy did. And the message went to the black people that Dr. King has supported John F. Kennedy. I am with President Chagulanyi, and I salute him for the wonderful message. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Honorable happens to be my hobby. We went to law school together. We were living Stonewall and Council Katana, Benjamin, at the LDC. We honor you and we're grateful to meet once again, especially in this capacity. Ladies and gentlemen, we come into the close of this function. You may be notified about the empty chair, the principle. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't want to go without getting to know what it means now and beyond. This is a symbolization of a departed soul, and to symbolize his void felt within our hearts even in his absence. And in this particular regard, this is to honor our fallen icon, Professor George William Kanihamba, who has already been spoken about. And what is more interesting and more for us to take home is these books that we are seeing before us are from the President's personal library, Isaac K. Semakade, so as to know that he is knowledgeable and is a true champion of the rule of law and good governance. So we would like to continue to appreciate and be with him, and as we pray for his soul to continue to rest in peace, and also use the legacy as the President has already advised us to see him as those shoes that we need to fill. Very big ones, but also the good thing is we are all lawyers. So for the lawyers out here, anything else can be used, but this is what we have to use as our icon and our example. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we come into the close of this function and would like to take the opportunity to invite our panel that usually sits with us to take a group picture. But before that, we are going to have a vote of thanks coming from two distinguished individuals. Mr. President and your panel, please be notified that the Rule of Law Department and Litigation is established to go down to institutions as well as the public. And for this matter, we also have management of rule of law clubs in the different universities in Uganda, one of them being your former university, Cavendish University, Makerere University, and we have presidents from those clubs that are members and attendees of this function. We would like to call one of them or the team that has been sat in here for this time to give a vote of thanks in representation of the children and the people that you're talking to, the youth that you're talking to, who are going to be proud of their future tomorrows, as you would say. We'd like to welcome Angela or the Angel to give a vote of thanks, after which we shall be hearing from the Honorable Sewungu, who will give a vote of thanks in his accord, and then we shall come towards the end of the function. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues and fellow advocates for social justice, I am honored to stand before you today as a representative of the Rule of Law President to express our heartfelt gratitude to the Uganda Lawyers for organizing the 27th Radical Bar Press and Publication. My name is Ashara Annabelle Angel. I am the President of Rule of Law Club, Makerere University, and I am very honored to be here. Thank you. We are deeply grateful for the thought-provoking speech delivered by our esteemed speaker, His Excellency Robert Chabilane, who shared his invaluable insights and experience on the topic, lawyers as agents of social justice to uphold human rights and electoral integrity. His words have inspired us to continue advocating for the rule of law, constitutionalism, and good governance in Uganda. We also take this opportunity to pay tribute to the late Professor Kanihamba, a legendary figure in Uganda's fraternity, whose legacy continues to inspire us. May his soul rest in peace. May we take a moment of silence. So many are called to service, but so few have showed up, and even less do such conviction that their loss creates a vacuum. God called us to service, and we therefore extend our gratitude to those that are in service, even at great personal cost. This is a country with discontented, filled with people content to stay in the status quo. And so it makes an already hard task even harder to get it for. To the Uganda Law Society, we appreciate your tireless effort in promoting the rule of law and social justice. Your commitment to imparting knowledge and advocating for human rights is truly commendable. Thank you for guiding this discussion. our engagement is productive and meaningful. And to all the participants here today and those online, thank you for your active engagement and contribution to the comprehensive discussion. Your passion for social justice and human rights is a testament to the power of policy. Once again, let's pray for the gratitude to the Banamateeka society. Let us continue in our work together to promote social justice and human rights in Uganda. At least a semblance of it. For God in my country, and this.
Thank you so much. We're going to have these individuals introduce themselves to show the difference in universities. That is working as a team. Thank you.
My name is Banamateeka, President of University, and I'm here to send the voice of all the students out there to direct. Let's all be guardians of the rule of law. Let's uphold the rule of law as we approach the 2026 election. Thank you.
Protocol of God, Gabriel is there for the senior, and I am the president, rule of the club, Banamateeka.
Protocol of God. My name is Ebibuuzo Ebimuseseza, and I'm very happy to be here.
Protocol of God. My name is SURVE, and I'm presenting my Electoral Society.
Thank you so much. We would like to invite the Honorable Semungu to give a vote of thanks for this industrious discussion that has just taken forth, and we give results so that we shall invite the council member from Eastern to take us to the next agenda item. Thank you so much.
You want to burn the house?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, Mr. President of the National Platform, where I belong, and our President of the National Society, Senior Council, whom I first gave instructions in my life when I was contesting the poor payments and the UPE funds during that time. Definitely everyone. I've given even a very little active to cut out. I rarely make such concluding remarks, but in attempt to them. I'm still Joseph Gonzaga, member of Parliament of Council West, and currently I'm the Minister of Education in Uganda. Many people think I'm the shadow minister, but where there is the absence of unity, Museveni not appearing anywhere, I remain the Minister of Education and the National Unity Platform. And above all, I'm the shadow minister. So the rest of government ministers, the Migos and others, they are shadowing me because I'm the Prime Minister as appointed by the President. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Uganda Society and the strides taken by the R&B Radical Bar, Radical New Bar, for this great initiative of engaging us towards topics and discussions that the society has for long evaded. This public lecture at the 27th R&B Live gives us the opportunity to explore the silent discussions that the oppressors are afraid of. Uganda Law Society, in the past leadership, really were in sleeping mode. And the coming of Senior Counsel Isaac Asemakadi, he brought us out of the motion. We should clap for that. The leadership we had at that time, Mr. President, was only available for a very big commemoration. And that will be the end of Uganda Society. But ever since we got our president, everything is moving on. I would like to thank our president. In his presentation, not only
moment you kill that chapter, then you have violated the Constitution. And as lawyers, I beseech you, and we are lucky that you have a young leader, His Excellency Secretary Michel plus the President of the Canada Society. Please don't relent, continue fighting. With this kind of struggle, you can be able to come out of the challenges we are having. What you said is no separation of power. Deep interest is he was not blessed anywhere because he gave under age limit. And as a result, they gave all judges in the court cases handled, but he was asked just for assistance whenever he is a judge. And he named what happened. You know what has happened to the former Chief Justice? That will give her enough to avoid the challenges he had again within the same judgment. When he could not even afford building his own judgment because he got stomach pain. As it is about challenges of the law. I was told recently, Mr. President, to do a presentation which has been so beautiful, that of course the Chief Justice is about to retire. But someone was telling me that, can I tell you, if I told this Chief Justice, when you retire before a nomination of candidates to Parliament, would ask about school as a many people another process and then hiring tickets. These are very challenging situations for such people. Mr. President, sir, I also mourn the passing on of Justice Kanye Hammer. We know what he has done with us. We had a lot of challenges when we were removing members of Parliament. That was Kubo, one of the second others. The only person we had by then, as other lawyers, was this Justice Kanye Hammer, who came with us assistance. Of course, in Canada society, it's our duty, it's our role. And you, the younger generation, you have to continue struggling for this country to go for redemption. We need redemption for this country. I want to thank you very much. Mr. President, I want to assure you, with this leadership here, the rights of their neighbor needs to these young people are doing their job. And we are sure to will be present for the next election, as you are participating, you stay in the country, come out for anything that comes out. You find the matter, you find the best, so as to get evidence against the demagogue. Otherwise, I want to thank you very much for the very last year. It will continue coming. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Council Member from the East. To wind up.
Thank you so much. Anyways, we are running the kind program. We have gifts to people. I want to invite you, please join me, the ambassador of our president. To come and give these gifts here. The first gift is to consider the students who can do the first gift. It's part of our R&D regalia. We would join our attire. So the part of the regalia. No, sir. Very good. The next gift is the excellence. Please come and see this gift. You take that. Robert Chagulanyi, President, please come and receive our radical new regalia. When the soldiers are being called up, on that note, I want to thank everybody for spending time, for coming out. We are really grateful. We officially closed. I will invite the chief of the panel leaders come here for one last moment of the entire panel, then we can be on our way. Thank you so much, everybody. Don't miss the chance to share the president's hand. Don't miss the chance to share the moment.
Yeah.
them the let's honor the silence in here so that the president can speak very briefly so that he can go. We know he has lost a lot of time.
Okay. Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine olwaleero asibye ku Uganda Law Society enteekateeka mu ebibuuzo bamubuuza mu mbere bwabyanukudde bwabizeemu era nga omaddala buli kimu kitambudde ddala bulungi era nga basuubiza okumuwagira ku bukulembeze w'eggwanga ne n'abasaba obuwagizi obubeere bwaliyo bwaddala kubanga munnamateeka munnaabwe ate oli jjajja mukadde yesi munnamateeka era ng'ono alina enteekateeka ez'enjawulo ddala zaba nga zitereza eggwanga lyaffe nga tesigenda kubanga oli namukadde jjajjaffe bw'alitambuzaamu nga bya famire yokka na lubuto lwe.